Hello, OMEA. Steve Aylward here, General Effect Caption Head, here to share some information with you as we have updated our sheets for the 2024 year. Um, and if you're anything like I am, you're just starting out the beginning of your season. We're finishing up our first week as I record this middle of July. You'll probably hear some drums in the background as we're doing this. But as you're getting your season rolling, I wanted to take a second and go through the new sheets with you and also talk about maybe just a couple tips as you're designing your show or things to focus on, both from a design standpoint and as you're rehearsing and getting ready to start your year. Say some things to think about, some things to plan for, because I know we often wonder, when we're going out to adjudicated events, what exactly are the adjudicators looking for? And I'm here to share with you what we've been training them on, what we're expecting them, what we want them to see and hear, and things that we want them to credit and reward, and also things that they're kind of watching for as we begin the season. So, just this, I hope this video is helpful to you. Obviously, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. But just we're going to go through the sheets. You'll notice about 8 bullet points on the new sheets, and I'm going to go through each of them one at a time. And we're going to go through first the top box, the repertoire portion, which is a reminder is 40% of our scoring here in OMEA. And we're talking both the musical and visual kind of in equal parts that lead to that. So here are the 4 phrases that are kind of we've told the adjudicators that will steer their evaluation. You can read through that. We're talking about coordination, we're talking about variety, and then we're going to talk a lot about pacing and flow. Those are big things that are new on the sheet this year. You'll also notice we attempted to streamline our descriptors on the sheet this year. So the words you're looking for when you're rehearsing your group from the performance and also what you're creating from a design are consistently, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, and never. Okay, those are words. So if an adjudicator feels you are consistently achieving whatever the criteria is, then that's a 1 rating. It's an 80 and above. If they think you're frequently doing it but not consistently, that's in the 2. Sometimes we're sometimes seeing and hearing it. That's a 3, etc. Throughout the sheet. So you'll see those words popping up pretty frequently. So one criterion at a time through the top box, and this is the verbiage that is in the superior box. So if you're hoping to qualify for state marching band finals, this is what the verbiage says, and this is exactly what we train the adjudicators on at our summer sessions this year. So the first one has to do with coordination. You know, do the audio and the visual match up with whatever resources you have. If you have a color guard, if you decide to use props, do they make sense? Okay, whatever you decide to do from a visual standpoint, is it accentuating and appropriately fitting with music and vice versa? You can read that, wide range. We want to see originality and, obviously complexity and difficulty if your students are able to handle that. Obviously, if we're trying something difficult and it's not being achieved, that's not going to be rewarded. But things that are will be rewarded. Um, again, this is exactly what I trained the adjudicators on. It's similar to the previous sheet, just expanded a little bit. Okay, box 1B, in the superior box, is probably the one that changed the least from the previous sheet. Musical vocabulary is what we're talking about here. Does it change? Do we get a wide variety of textures, moods, nuances um, over the course of your show? Or obviously, if we're just playing this same idea for 7 minutes, not as much. So just we want to hear that vocabulary. Okay, so here's where we kind of start to get to some new stuff and some points of emphasis with our adjudicators. Obviously, the visual vocabulary, we want to reflect the musical score. The word staging is now very prominent. That's a word we're going to be encouraging our adjudicators to hopefully use a lot. Our number one job is for our students to be placed to succeed, and hopefully for them to sound fantastic. Is the visual design allowing for your students to sound fantastic? That's what we're going to be watching for from the general effects standpoints. Okay, and you can kind of read through again what What are we asking them to do? So that's that's going to be staging is going to be a point of emphasis from at least from me to the general effect adjudicators, and so that is something you want to keep in mind as you're starting design: is are your students always placed in the best place to succeed? And then you're going to hear a lot about pacing and continuity and flow. Does the show keep moving? Do we get a wide variety? Do we have a wide variety of tempos, or does the show bog down? Okay, here's the big. If you get one thing out of this video today, you're in the beginning part of your season. Start to plan your transitions between your productions now. If you have two drum majors and one of them marches part of the show while the other's talking, and then they switch, plan now. Work it out in your drill so you can get the one out next to the podium and we can make that transition happen faster. If you have to get a soloist off the field or back into the drill, work that into your drill now. Okay. Nothing destroys pacing like a 45-second pause between movements as we walk one drum major off, walk the other one off. They climb up. We walk a soloist to a microphone, walk another soloist back into the drill. Make plans now, okay? Because that's not quality pacing. And beyond that, does the show move? Does it carry momentum? Do we have velocity and dynamic change, both musically and visually? Visual dynamic changes, or is it just constant motion all the time, or do we get moments where it's a lot more subtle and quiet, and then we have other moments? Okay, so pacing and staging are kind of new point of emphasis beyond what we've been talking about previous years on the general effects side of things. Okay, so that's the top box. Now in the performance portion of the sheet, again, talking about communication of intent, performer engagement, simultaneous responsibility, and then emotional impact. All right. So this was an attempt, hopefully, to streamline some things. Performance Box 1A is a little bit more micro. It's a little bit more on the individual performers. But I can tell you as an adjudicator how many times we have talked about, I can tell what the designers are intending this to be, but the performers aren't achieving. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. Okay, communication. Are you communicating the intent of the performance? Are the students taking what the designers have given them, and are they performing? Okay, so we're supposed to have a musical impact with a big crescendo at the end. Then we die out 4 counts early. That's the kind of stuff we're going to be addressing. But if the students do, then that's the things we're going to be rewarding. Again, thinking about consistently, frequently, sometimes, etc., to put those into a box. Okay, so that's what's going on in box 1A. You're also going to hear the word training a lot. That's a phrase that gets used a lot in the marching arts nowadays. Evidence training. Are you teaching the students to do things the right way? Are they playing their instruments correctly? Are we making a good ensemble sound? Are we listening and adjusting the best we can? Do the students move the same way? If we're doing body work or color guard work, are they all doing things the same way? Or have we trained them to do things correctly? Is there evidence of fundamentals? Okay, that's what we're looking for with evidence of training. If you have strong evidence training, you're getting a 1. Okay, and then are we engaging with the audience? Okay, does it make it to the stands? And that can be 15 kids, that can be 300 kids. Okay, and that communication is the fundamental. Are the fundamentals getting to the box? Okay, one of the things I didn't tweak a lot when we rewrote the sheets is simultaneous responsibilities. If you play well, but you're able to move underneath it while you do it, you're going to be rewarded more. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Recovery is also on the sheet now. Okay, that can be musical or visual. Musically speaking, you start to have a timing tear and the students know what to do and they latch back on. That's evidence of great training, and that will be rewarded, at least we hope. And then finally, do the students understand their responsibility? This one's a little bit more macro than 1A. They're similar, but do the students fully understand everything that's being expected of them? Okay, do they know how to finish a musical phrase? Do they know how to hit their dots to create the resolution of a phrase in an effect standpoint? That's what we're going to be watching and listening. Okay, So that's kind of the quick rundown here of the general effect sheet for 2024. I can tell you a whole lot of work went into it. It's something we're very proud of and we're very excited to move forward with. And we're really excited to see where it goes here on this first season. We obviously appreciate your patience as we continue to train the judges, train the adjudicators, um, on some new verbiage and some new things, and we'll keep working to improve the same way that you're working to improve with your fans. So again, I hope your summer, if you haven't started yet, the end of your summer, your time off is going well. If you're like me and you're in the first week and you're getting rolling, I hope all your kids showed up. I hope they've continued to show up, and I hope everybody's working hard and is doing great things. We are so incredibly excited to see and hear what the amazing bands of OMEA will put on the field this fall. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. And I wish you nothing but the very best.